To our Tuesday Hard CORE Glutes workout. It's 45 minutes long. We're going to be targeting our glutes, leg area, core with some strength exercises. As far as equipment, all you need is a yoga mat and some dumbbells, maybe around medium weight for you. And we're going to start with a warm-up. Then we're going to have 3 rounds of 3 exercises each. So we'll have 3 circuits, I should say. So, for example, each circuit will have 3 exercises in them, and we'll go through those exercises 3 times each, so a total of 9 times. And then we will go on to the next circuit, do that for those exercises, and then we'll go on to our last circuit. And then we will have a cool down as well. So getting started with our warm-up, let's just get into some air squats. So feet about shoulder width apart, squatting down, sinking your weight towards the back of the room. Keeping those knees tracking behind your toes instead of having them go forward, really leaning that weight back. Just keep squatting down like that, warming up the glutes here. And then from there, we're going to get into some knee hugs. So you can hug one leg in to your chest, and then just switch sides. We'll alternate this way for a few seconds here. Challenge our balance a little bit. Ooh, there we go, falling over. So for each of the exercises we're doing today, it's going to be 50 seconds of work and then 15 seconds of rest. And when I'm explaining the next circuit, you'll have a nice long rest because I'll demonstrate all the exercises first before we get into the circuit. All right, now we're going to get into some external hip rotations. So bring your right knee up and out, away from your body and down in a circular motion away from your body. Opening up the hips here. When we're sitting down all day, working on the computer, our hips can get really tight. So it's nice to get a little bit of mobility into those hips. All right, and switch sides. Oop, I'm falling over. There we go. Bringing that knee up and then out. Gently tapping the toe down on the ground. All right, great work. Next up, we're going to do some good mornings. So you're going to stand nice and tall, shoulders down away from your ears, shoulder blades together, get that good posture going. We're going to put our arms overhead and then hinge forward at the hips, back nice and straight, a slight bend in your knees. And the only movement here is really happening at the hip joint. So you're just hinging down and up, squeezing the glutes slightly at the top. Warming up that back body. So we're going to be targeting those glutes and hamstrings a lot in today's workout. As we're in our warm-up here, start to get synced up with your breath. Your breath is going to be your savior here during your workout. It can be really helpful to get really tuned in with it, especially when you're doing a difficult set. This gives you something to focus on other than the burn. All right, now we're going to get into some modified jumping jacks. So bring your hands over head and then tap one of your feet out to the side and then alternate feet, just like that. So it's just a jumping jack, but without the jumping part. If you'd like to get your heart pumping a little bit more, you can add the jump if you'd like. Completely optional. Let's do 5 more of these. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, great work, everyone. Warm up is complete. We're going to get into that first circuit now, first 3 exercises. So first I'm going to demonstrate them and then we'll get into the circuit itself, okay? So the first exercise is alternating lateral lunges. So you can do this either with your dumbbells by your side or without any dumbbells. Either way, it's going to be a great workout. So you're going to start standing nice and tall, and then you're going to step one of your feet out to the side, sink your weight back into that glute, and then hold those weights around your knee here, kind of frame your knee with those weights, stand back up, bring that foot together, back to meet your other foot, and then switch sides. Sinking that weight back into the heel, stand back up. Okay, so let me show you the side view as well. Standing up nice and tall, then stepping to the side, framing that knee, keeping, see if you can see that here, keeping the knee back away from the tip of the toes, so you don't want your knee going over your toes here. So sinking that hip back. And just go as far back as you can into that lunge. If you just, if you're lunging down and it's like, this is your range of motion here, because your hamstrings are a little tight, that's totally fine. If you're able to like really sink into that lunge, that's great too. Just listen to your body and follow your own range of motion. So that's the first exercise. From there, we're going to target our core. We're going to do a Pilates sit-up. So you're going to sit up nice and tall on your mat, extend your arms overhead, and you're going to roll down one vertebrae at a time. Really feeling that core engage until you're down on the mat, and then bring your arms down to the floor, and then bring them back up, and then slowly roll back up and reach up overhead. Get a nice stretch in, and then roll down. So this is a nice slow and controlled movement, but it really engages the core. All right, so that's the second exercise. And then the third exercise is one-legged deadlift with no weight. Okay, so this is just body weight, and it's a really great balance challenge. But despite there being no weight, this really does activate the glutes, and it's a great strength exercise. So what this looks like is you're gonna just stand with your feet a little closer than hip distance apart, okay? And then you're going to stand just on one foot, raise those arms overhead, and like we did in the Good Morning warm-up where we were hinging at the hips, same idea, just hinge at the hips, but you'll have one foot up off the mat here. And you're gonna have a slight bend in your knee. And then once you feel that glute and hamstring really engaged, you can stand back up, nice and tall with the leg still up here. If you need to touch it back down and reset, that's totally fine. I know this is really challenging for balance. Let me show you that one more time. Okay, just hinging forward and then back up. So you can see from this side, hinging forward and then back up. Okay, so what we're going to do is alternate legs. Okay, so ignore me when I said before, keep the leg up. When you go back to standing, actually put it down because we're going to switch legs. So it'll be hinging forward on one leg, standing together, and then hinging forward on the other leg, okay? And really take your time with this. It's definitely a challenge in terms of balance. But I think you'll be surprised at how much you feel your glutes start to really feel the burn there in that move. All right, so let's get started with this circuit. Let me set up our timer here. Okie dokie. Here we go. So we're going to start with those alternating lateral lunges. So picking your weights up, standing up, feet together, and then bring one leg out to the side and lunge over that leg. And then you're going to switch legs. We're in another room here. I'm going to come a little bit closer. All right. And frame your knee with those weights, okay? Remember to sink that weight back into your glutes as you lunge to the side there. So we just have 8 more seconds till we move on to those Pilates sit-ups. You're doing great. Keep that chest nice and proud in this move as well. All right, rest. Make your way down to your mat into these Pilates sit-ups. Getting started now. So arms overhead, sitting up nice and tall. Slowly roll down one vertebrae at a time so you're laying down on the mat. And then extend those arms back up. Slowly roll up, sitting up nice and straight, bringing those shoulder blades down away from the ears, and then rolling back down. So just continuing this way. Really bracing your lower core and abs as you're in the movement portion of this exercise, as you're moving down and as you're moving up, really actively engaging the core. Remember to breathe. Just 5 more seconds here. Looking good. 2, 1, and rest. All right, we're going to get into that alternating body weight one leg deadlift now. Just moving the table so I have a little bit of room. And getting started. Okay, so you're going to stand on one leg, put your arms overhead, hinging at the hips, and kick that leg back towards the back of the room. Stand back up, switch legs. Hinging at the hip, slight bend in that supporting knee, supporting the knee of the supporting leg. And just switch. Take your time here. No need to rush this move. If you need to catch your balance like I just did, that's totally fine. With your arms overhead here, think of actively engaging the shoulder blades down. So every exercise that we do is an opportunity to work on our posture. All right, rest. Because so many of our daily activities get us out of that good postural form, being on the computer, looking at the phone. So this is a good opportunity to practice that. Okay, so we're getting back started with those alternating lateral lunges, picking up the weights, and then lunging over to the side, framing that knee with the weights, lunging over to the other side. Great work. Stepping your feet back together, sinking your weight back into your heel, back towards the back of the room, keeping that chest upright as much as possible. Just 7 more seconds in this move. And rest. Great work. Next up, we're going back into that Pilates sit-up. So heading back down to the mat, sitting up nice and tall, arms overhead, and getting started now. Rolling down one vertebrae at a time, engaging that core till you're down on the mat. And back up. Start to focus on that breath. In through the nose and out through the mouth. It's definitely not a move you want to rush. You'll actually feel a little bit more core engagement if you slow this move down. 3, 2, 1, rest. Great work. Okay, we're going to go back into those alternating one leg body weight deadlifts. Getting started in 4, 3, 2, 1. Standing on one leg, arms overhead, standing nice and tall. Hinging forward at the hips, extending that back leg out, and then switching legs. Keeping that back nice and straight. If you get that little tiny shaky feeling in your calves, those little muscles of your ankles, means you're working those muscles, those stabilizer muscles, which is great for balance. I am one of those people that is prone to injury, so it's good for me to work on my balance. All right, rest. We're gonna go into our last set of each of these exercises now, and then you guys will have a nice long rest while I explain the next circuit. Okay, picking up those weights, getting back into those lateral lunges. So you're going to lunge to the side, frame your knee with those weights, lunge to the other side. Sorry for the table obstructing your view here. In next week's class, I will move this table out of the way. All right. Lunging that weight back. Keeping that knee pointing straight ahead, not going to either side. Just 10 more seconds here, and you're done with this move for the whole class. Definitely feeling those glutes. Hope you are too. All right, drop those weights, and we're gonna head back down to the mat. Into that Pilates sit-up. Okay, sitting up nice and tall, arms overhead, and rolling down, one vertebrae at a time, engaging the core. And rolling up, standing up nice and tall, feeling a nice stretch in your chest and your shoulders. As you stand or sit up nice and tall here, just imagine there's like a string pulling you up towards the sky, really straightening out that back, and then rolling down. Just 10 more seconds here. Great work. 3, 2, 1, rest. Excellent work, crew. Heading now into that last exercise of this circuit. We're going to do those body weight alternating leg deadlifts. I'll switch sides here. Slightly different angle. Okay. Arms overhead, sitting nice and straight. Lift one leg off the ground and then hinge at the hips, okay? Sending that foot back. And then switching legs. And then hinging at the hips nice and slow. If you feel a little shaky, just slow the movement down like I'm doing here and recover. So when we rush through our moves, when we're working out, we're not giving all those little supporting muscles, all those really deep muscles, the opportunity to turn on and engage and get stronger. So with a move like this, that's what we're really aiming to do, is target those deep muscles. Great work, everyone. First circuit done. We've got 2 more circuits in this workout. All right. So the next circuit has alternating bird dog to crunch, which I'll show you how to do. Marching, a marching glute bridge, and then a high plank shoulder tap. So let me demonstrate those for you. For the alternating bird dog to crunch, you're gonna get down on the mat and be in tabletop position. So your knees are down on the mat, just underneath your hip points, and your feet, hands rather, are on the mat right under your shoulder points. Your back is nice and neutral. And then what you're going to do is reach one arm forward and reach the opposite leg back. Squeeze the glutes as you lift that leg backwards, and then switch sides, okay? But we're gonna spice this bird dog up a bit and add a little crunch in there. So when you extend that arm forward and that leg back, As you bring them back in, you're going to crunch that knee and elbow together, and then put your hand and knee down, and then switch sides. And do the same thing on the other side. So extend, and then crunch, and then put back down, and then alternate. So that's the first move. Great core exercise. Next, we're going to do some marching glute bridges. So you're going to switch over to your back here, laying on the mat with your feet on the ground, your knees pointing up towards the sky. And you're going to inch your feet towards the wall you're facing just a little bit, maybe like a half a step forward. The goal is that when you do lift your hips up, that there's a nice 90-degree angle at the knees there. So once your feet are in place, you're going to extend those hips up, feel that squeeze in your glutes, and then you're going to bring one knee towards your chest, lifting that foot up to the sky, and then switch legs. So we're kind of marching here as we crunch those knees in. And we're just going to hold like this. So holding the hips up towards the sky as we crunch alternating knees into the chest like that. So getting a 2-for-1 here, working the glutes and the abs. All right, our last exercise of this circuit is a high plank. So everything we're doing here is on the mat, which is kind of nice in the circuit. So you're going to get into a high plank here. So you extend your feet out towards the back of the room, on your tiptoes here. Your hands are just under your shoulder points, and you're going to tuck in that pelvis. Make sure the spine is nice and neutral. Okay, so we don't want our butts up here like this. We want to kind of tuck them in and lift up through the shoulders. Keep the back nice and straight, and keep our chin slightly tucked or neck neutral. All right, so you can either just hold the plank like that, or if that's a little bit too challenging, you can have one knee down, holding the plank like that. So that's a modification there. If you want to make this more challenging, get into that high plank and then tap alternating shoulders. Your hands here. And the challenge here is to stay as still as you can throughout your torso as you lift those hands up to meet your shoulders, okay? So you've got a few different variations here you can work with. All right, let's get started. Just check the time. Okay. Starting now with those alternating bird dog crunches. So getting a tabletop, neutral spine, lift your right arm forward, your left leg back, squeeze that glute, and then crunch that elbow into your knee together. And then switch sides. Left arm forward, right leg back, squeeze knee to elbow, and then reset and switch sides. I'm just going to continue this way. Just 15 more seconds. Three, 2, 1, rest. Okay. Now we're going to flip over into that glute bridge, a marching glute bridge. So laying on our backs here, feet on the ground, knees pointing towards the sky. Lift your hips up, and then march, alternating knees into your chest. So on that supporting leg, as the opposite knee crunches in, you're going to get a little extra burn in that glute since it's supporting more weight just on one side. Keep those hips nice and high towards the sky, that glute squeezed and engaged. Just 15 more seconds here. Looking good. Three, 2, 1, rest. Almost done with this first set of this circuit. So we're flipping over into a plank now, getting into a high plank. 3, 2, 1, and go. So hands just under your shoulders here, on your tiptoes. Feel your whole body engaged. Spine nice and neutral. And then if you'd like to kick this up a notch, start tapping, alternating shoulders. And then again, if this high plank's a little challenging for you, you can just drop one knee like that. And you could, or you could, alternate dropping these, just like that. Almost there, guys. I know planks can be a doozy. They're such a great core strengthener. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, rest. Great job on your first set of the circuit. Okay, moving back into those alternating bird dog crunches. Getting into tabletop, and extend that right arm forward, left leg back, squeeze the glute, and then crunch the knee and elbow together, and then reset. And switch sides. Just going back and forth. As you extend your leg out, have the sole of your foot facing the back wall, as opposed to having your feet with your sole facing the sky. You'll feel a little bit more glute activation with your sole facing back wall. Just 10 more seconds here. 3, 2, 1, rest. Excellent work, crew. We're going to go back into those marching glute bridges now. So flipping over to your back. Knees on the floor. Or not knees on the floor, sorry. Feet on the floor, knees up towards the sky. Lift those hips up towards the sky. And march those feet. Crunch those knees into your chest, towards your chest. Just alternate sides. Keeping those hips up towards the sky. It's 10 more seconds here. 3, 2, 1, rest. Gonna go back into that plank. Planks and push-ups are not my favorite exercise, I'm not gonna lie to you, but they make me feel so strong. Getting back to that plank down, guys. And they're such a great full body strengthener that I'm just like, all right, I'll do them. All right, so quick posture check here. That spine is nice and straight. Feeling your whole body engaged. Feel like those glutes engaged, legs, shoulders, core, back. If you want to make this harder, start tapping those shoulders. And if it's a little challenging for you, just drop a knee. You could drop one knee and then extend the other leg and then alternate that. Just holding here for 2 more seconds. 1, and rest. Whew, great job, guys. Just one more of these. One more set of each of these exercises, and we're done with this circuit. Can you believe it? I feel like this is flying by. Okay, back into the alternating bird dog crunches. So in tabletop here, your hands are under your shoulders, your knees are under your hip points. Extend that right hand forward, left foot back, crunch the elbow knee together and switch sides. Feel that active extension for your front, so from the top of your head to the tip of your toes. Just 3 more seconds here. 2, 1, rest. Okay, we're gonna flip back over into those marching glute bridges for a quick rest here. All right, laying back down on the mat, feet on the floor, knees towards the sky. Extend those hips upwards, and then march your feet, alternating feet here. Bring those knees in towards the chest. Hope everyone's having a great day. Definitely starting to feel like fall here. Just feels like it kind of changed overnight. But I love it. I like the fall. Although my husband always gets like down in the dumps when it's fall because then it's like, it's almost winter. But we get a little ways for that to go. All right, and rest. Okay, just one more move in this circuit. We go back into that plank. Setting up here. Hands on your shoulder, under your shoulders, feet back. On your tiptoes here. And do a little postural check. Make sure everything is nice and straight and aligned. Those glutes are tucked in. And you're either holding here, or you're tapping alternating shoulders, or you're bringing alternating knees down. Either of those options are a little too challenging. I'm going to just hold in a high plank myself, personally. Focusing on that breath. 10 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, rest. Woohoo! Second circuit done, yeah! Just one more circuit in this workout. We'll have a nice cool down. Okay. We've got squat pulses, standing crunches, and some reverse lunges. So let's show you what those look like. So for the squat pulses, you're going to clasp your hands together. You're going to get into that squat stance, so feet about hip or shoulder distance apart, toes pointing slightly outwards, just very slightly, and you're going to squat back down as far as you comfortably can. So for me, that's here. That might be like up here for you, here, but I'm going to go around here, and then we're going to do some pulses, okay? So keeping that chest upright, and then just little like tiny pulses here. Really going to feel the burn with this one, okay? And up. So we're just going to pulse that way for the full 50 seconds. Then we're going to go into some standing crunches. So just standing up nice and tall, put your hands by your ears here, and then crunch opposite elbow to opposite knee, like this. Simple enough, right? All right, and then our last move is a reverse lunge, alternating reverse lunge. So what you're gonna do is stand at the top of your mat, here, feet together, roll those shoulder blades back. I'm gonna get that nice proud chest, and then step one foot back into that lunge, and then bring the leg down to the floor if you can, bring the foot back up, and then lunge back with the other leg. Okay, it might be helpful to keep your hands clasped in front of your chest here for some balance. You could put them overhead if you want to raise your heart rate a little bit more. Yeah, this is just a reverse lunge. Keeping that knee back away from the toes, sinking the weight back. Okay, let's get started. Set my timer. And we're starting with those squat pulses now. Getting in that squat stance, squatting down, and then pulse, slight pulse. Okay, looking good. This is a tough one for me. Those little tiny isometric movements, those holding movements, ooh, they burn. I like give all the props in the world to people who do bar or Pilates consistently, because to me that is just like the toughest type of exercise, these like little micro movements. If you need to take a break, just pause at the top and then get back down into the squat. We're almost there, guys. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, rest. Woo, I feel that. Feel that in my quads and my glutes. All right, next up, we're going into those standing crunches. So stand up nice and tall, roll the shoulder blades back, bring your hands to your ears, and then crunch, alternating elbow to alternating knee. If you want to sync up your breath in this move, you can breathe in as you stand up and then breathe out as you crunch. It's optional, but sometimes it can be helpful to sync our breaths up with our movements. Helps with focus and helps us remember to breathe, not hold our breath. 5 more seconds. 3, 2, 1, rest. Great work. All right, we're going to go into those alternating reverse lunges, and you can use weights for this if you'd like. So you can hold weights at your side like this or not. Getting started now, lunging one foot back, bringing that foot forward, and lunging back with the opposite leg. Keeping the chest upright, standing up tall. Just sinking down as far as comfortable for you. So if you're able to like lunge just here, that's totally fine. Again, just listen to your own range of motion, your own body. I'm gonna adjust my headphone here. Keep on lunging away. Great work. Really engaging our glutes here. 3, 2, 1, rest. All right, back to the top. 2 more sets of each. All right, crew. Getting back into those squat pulses. Starting now. Squatting down. Clasping those hands in front of your chest or holding them overhead if you'd like. This is going to make it more challenging. Will raise your heart rate, but if you want that challenge, live your truth. Go for it. And just doing these tiny pulses here. Whenever you need to take a break, just standing up and then squatting back down. Great work, everyone. Almost there. 10 seconds. You got this. Three, 2, 1, rest. All right, back into those standing crunches after a quick rest here. All right, standing up nice and tall, hands by the ears. And starting now, crunching opposite elbow to opposite knee. Looking good. You've got this vote going on in the Bedford Fitness Center right now. Whether you're a hot coffee person in the fall and winter, or if you're like, iced coffee is my ride or die. I will have iced coffee regardless of how cold it is. Right now, hot coffee's winning, but yeah, I'm curious. Let me know what you think. Three more seconds. 2, 1, rest. All right, getting now into those reverse lunges with or without weight. I'm going to go without weight for this round. Getting started in 3, 2, 1. Standing at the top of your mat, lunging one foot back, standing back up tall, lunging the other foot back. Looking good. No need to rush this move. Most important thing is form over speed any day. Form over speed, form over weight. Because we don't want any injuries. Just 10 more seconds here. You got this. 3, 2, 1, rest. All right, everyone, we've got one more set of each. We are so close. And then we'll have a couple quick minutes to cool down before you get back into your day. All right, getting back into those squat pulses. I'm a little scared here. All right, feet about hip distance apart, clasping those hands in front of your chest, squatting down as far as is comfortable for you. And then just do these little tiny pulses, keeping that chest upright, sinking your weight back towards the back of the room here as opposed to leaning forward to make sure that we're really engaging the glutes. Focusing on the breath. 15 more seconds. And then we're done with this move. 3, 2, 1, rest. Woo! Yay! All right, I'm going to be getting back into those standing crunches in a moment here. Nice time to get a sip of water if you need one. All right, standing up nice and tall, hands by your ears. Start crunching, alternating knee to alternating elbow. Switching sides. I'm a big fan of standing ab workouts, standing ab exercises, because they don't bother my neck as much as some of the crunches and ab exercises you do laying down on a mat. I mean, I definitely like those too. I sprinkle them in, but it's nice to have a balance, because otherwise, yeah, it can just be a little too much strain on my neck. Don't know about you guys. 3, 2, 1, rest. All right, guys, one more move. One more move. Yes. Going back into those reverse lunges. If it's in your, within your ability, let's pick up those weights for this last lunge exercise, okay? So reverse lunge here, stepping that foot back, knee down towards the ground. Framing your frontward facing leg with those weights if you can. Pushing ourselves a little bit here with this final exercise. I know you can do it. Remembering proper form here. 10 more seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Finish. You did it. Amazing work, everyone. Not an easy one. Got about a minute or two here to cool down. Just get your breath. Get some water. Just a nice exhale out. Let's sweep those arms overhead, up towards the sky, and then forward fold over those legs. Feels good. Maybe swaying side to side here. Stretching those hamstrings out. And a little bit of a glute stretch. All right, rolling back up, one vertebra at a time till we're standing. We're gonna raise our arms overhead, do a little tiny back bend here. So just start reaching those hands a little bit towards the back of the room. So you feel a stretch in your front body here and your abs. A little bit of an activation in your lower back there. Just hold there for a few seconds. All right. From there, we're going to go into a standing figure 4. So grab hold, if you're able to a wall here or something you can support yourself with, and then take one of your legs, the leg that's not on the side you're supporting the wall with, and bring that shin and place it on top of your thigh, and then just kind of sit back a little bit into that hip, to that glute, sinking back. You should feel a nice stretch in through the glute here. Just hold it here. All right, standing back up, switching sides, placing that foot, that shin on the opposite thigh, just above the knee, not on the knee. We don't want to cause any pain there. And sinking the weight back, opening up that hip and glute. Looking down towards the ground here. All right, standing back up. That's it. I hope you enjoyed class today. Sorry for my crazy hair. I have to get more bobby pins. But have a great rest of your day, everyone. I will see you later this week with more virtual classes. Bye.